Now, as him and Poffy wish to take the lead of the Constructors' Championship. It's a long, long run into turn one. Plenty of overtaking to be done here in the race. Heavy on the brakes, 100-meter board. Clip that curb on the inside. Same again. There, get a great exit. Burn most of your battery here into the Curva Grande. No DRS, so you're relying a lot on the battery to do all the power as we head in to the Della Roger chicane. Clip the curb there, flat out through here, get a good exit, a little bit of battery there as we head into the first of two Lesmos. Fast right hander, and he's clipped the grass and he's gone round into the gravel. That's Lucky's first lap ruined. We'll go on board with the car behind him in the first Lesmo. In the second Lesmo, get a good exit ready for the DRS into Ascari. Open that rear wing. Burn some more battery. Top speed of 218 miles per hour. Chuck it in for Ascari and invalidate, unfortunately, by going too much on the inside. We'll go on board with some Saubers next. Willy Wonka into Ascari. Invalidates as well. Manny into Ascari. Will he keep it valid? He will. Has barely any battery left though. He's in hot lap. The method this year is to stay in medium, not hot lap, so interesting. We might go on board with the McLaren. They've invalidated as well. So Manny, the first person to set a valid lap time, will get a nice little slipstream from his teammate in front of him, Willy Wonka, aka ARB. Formula Kyle got to that 19.0, I missed that unfortunately, and Manny goes within 2 seconds. 19.0 from Formula Kyle. He's currently sat P3 in the World Drivers' Championship. He won last time out in Zandvoort, however. So keep an eye, he's on some good form at the minute. Glide slots in at P2, he's currently P4 in the championship. He's another quick driver. We'll go on board with the Haas off-road. Well, actually, we'll go on board with the man who could come away from Monza, leading both championships. He could lead the drivers and he could also lead the constructors with Williams. What would help a lot? Pole position. Let's see what he can do. Around Parabolica. Bit scruffy around Parabolica. Run to the line. Pretty short run to the line. It's not a great lap time. It's a 19.8. Tell what we'll do that. And that's everyone's first lap's done. A lot of people invalidating by clipping that inside curb. A bit too much on the scory. They're getting a bit too greedy. You want to clip the curb, but not so much to the point you invalidate. Purple's at the 1 at the end of the Della Roger chicane. Clips that into the curb, makes the apex very nicely, flat out on exits. On the run into the first Lesmo. Super fast right-hander, incredible minimum speed that these F1 cars can carry. 116 mile an hour through there. Has very limited battery though. Head into it, Ascari, one of the most famous sections in the whole of the Formula 1 calendar. One of the most iconic tracks in the whole of the Formula 1 calendar, and for good reason. This place is speed. And speed is exactly what Ari will want in that Ferrari. Gets the power on nice and early, out of Parabolica, run to the line. What's it going to be for the banker? P3 with a 19.5, 5/10 off Formula Kyle is not a bad lap on the mediums at all. We'll go on board Formula Kyle. So fast for the second Lesmo then. Opens the DRS, has plenty of battery left. But again, he's using hot lap. Brakes so late, early on the power. So early on the power for Ascari there. He's going to get a fantastic exit. But again, doesn't have a whole lot of battery to play with. To the final turn, Parabolica. Swooping right-hander. It goes on forever, this right-hander. You're constantly turning until you straighten up. To the run to the line. He's already got pole, provisional pole. He's going to improve it by 8/10. Mega lap, 18.2. That is quick. That is quick. Whoa. Manny and Lockie both invalid. Poffy is apparently 7th and something sector 1. But I didn't think he was on a lap. He's using non-ERS though. I think he might have forgotten to turn his ERS back on. Because if you look here, when he eventually cancels it, he's using none. Yeah, none at the bottom, you can see there. We'll stand by anyways, 6/10 up. Like I say, if things do go to plan for him here, they will lead the championship. A distant slipstream from the Sauber ahead. Not a lot, but every little helps. It's the final turn now. Needs a front row start here if they want any chance of leading the championship into round 11. Does go P2, however, 8/10 off Kyle. Kyle is pretty much locked out of that P1. We'll go on board with Ange in the Mercedes. Oh, whoa! What happened there? Into Ascari, 2/10 up. Pretty slow through Ascari, not a whole lot of minimum speed. You can go a lot faster through that. But get a nice exit onto the final little mini straight. The run to the line stays P9, improves by 2/10, but it's not enough to move in position. Here we go. Can RAB finally do a valid Ascari? He has. He's gone through Ascari validly. Big, a nice slipstream of TAA. I do believe both of the drivers have quali bands. And they both have just set times. Good times, P7, P5. If I'm not mistaken, they should both be having quali runs. So I'm not too sure what that's about. Why they've both done that. Because they both have quali bands, but the stewards will look at that one after the race, I assume. It's a huge 8/10 gap between Kyle and Pothy. That seems pretty much unclosable for Pothy. We'll take a mega lap to close that. But they are actually on a lap. As the Williams will chuck it into Ascari now. 4/10 up. Purple sector 2 chucks it into Ascari. Early on that power, early on the battery. It's a good exit and they run into Parabolica. No DRS, of course, only battery, pure engine, pure car, pure engine screaming into Parabolica, here at the Temple of Speed. But how much speed has Pothy produced? Is it enough to original pole? It is not. Finds 3/10, close the gap to 5/10. But no, Kyle is still laughing in that Red Bull garage. I'm sure he would have been watching that lap. We'll go on board with ARB. Into the Della Roger chicane, a 10th up sector 1. Looking good so far. They're pushing for top 5 into the first of the two Lesmos. Quite wide there. Yeah, a bit too wide. I did notice. They'll get a nice slipstream from the two cars ahead, who hopefully will move out of the way. The V-Carb and the Aston Martin. Will they move out of the way? They will. Well, the V-Carb has the Aston Martin. Not yet. 5/10 up. 5/10 up, ARB is. Wow. He'll get a lovely slipstream from the Aston Martin ahead. This will definitely put them into top 5, maybe even the top 4. If this final turn, Parabolica, can be good. It's a good exit, nice and early on the power. Drain the last of the battery. He'll be leaning forward, edging for all that time. He only goes 5th. Oh, it's so close to P4. 300th of a second away from P4. We'll go on board with McLaren of AW1. Izzy, I assume that is. Again, has barely any battery for this final straight, but has a lovely slipstream from him. Is that the Red Bull ahead? Oh, wow. And that Formula Kyle? Oh, and then Formula Kyle will get the slipstream as well. So here we go. Formula Kyle Getting an insane slipstream. Brainsucker goes P6. Yeah, Formula Kyle with a mega slipstream. He's already on pole by 5/10, but what else can he do in temple of speed? As the Red Bull breaks at 100-meter board, chucks it in hard as he can, slamming his foot to the floor. As the Road and the Brainsucker get a collision. We'll ignore that for now, though, as we go on board with Formula Kyle, looking to increase his gap. 2P2, Poffy, Interstellar Roger, Chicane got a Haas in front of him. Will the Haas move out the way? It's kind of blocking him. He has to wait to get on the power. The Haas has to move. The Haas does move into the first of two Lesmos, chucks it in, barely braking, gets all there. Wow, using all of the track on exit. Whatever, using too much there and goes invalid, unfortunately. Poffy will not get a chance to do a lap. We'll take the checkered flag. It glides to the line. No, I mean to the final turn. Parabolic glides. Needs to find about a second to push into the top two. He's pretty much hard stuck. P3, P4, P5 taking the line. Yeah, he boxes anyway. That was scary. So Brainsucker, I think, has a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with the Road, who is currently last in P13. We'll go on board with Izzy to the line. Has no battery left. Currently sat in P8. Needs a lot of time to go P7. They do not find it, however. Lockie goes P6 ahead of Brainsucker. Willy Wonka finishes P5 at the end. Ari, I think, only did 1 or 2 laps in that Ferrari. In Ferrari's home ground. In Ferrari's home ground is currently P4. And Manny, last driver to complete qualifying, goes P9. So it's going to be Formula Kyle from Poffy, from Glides. Formula Kyle miles ahead. Got unfortunately blocked by that Haas. I have no idea what they were thinking. The Haas already got involved in the collision and has a 5-place grid penalty, but that will do nothing starting last. The Haas having a naughty qualifying there. So yeah, Formula Kyle from Poffy, from Glides, from Ari, from Arb in the Sauber. Lockie in the Williams makes it a Williams P6, P2. Brainsucker in Aston Martin, that's good for him. Izzy in 8th, Manny in 9th in that Sauber. TAA in 10th, and Ange and Seal and the Road round up qualifying.